What up, YouTube? It's your boy VSAT back, bringing you guys some Fan Mail Friday. Remember, guys, this is a weekly series going up every single Friday, and if you guys want your questions to be answered, all you got to do is send me an email, vsat@mail.com, v5at@mail.com. But let's get right into it. My buddy AJ Collins asks, so I want to ask you what your intake is on how the COD zombie community has changed compared to what it used to be, and in what ways do you miss the old zombies? Also, want to ask if change in a game like zombies is good or bad, and if you want to share your opinion on the pros and cons of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Well, first of all, AJ, great question, thinking outside the box comparative to the first 3 fan mails that we did. So very different, very awesome question. Thank you, man. This is the point of Fan Mail Friday, and thank you, man. I really appreciate that. So, but first of all, to start it off, let's go right into the first point. So, what is your intake on how the COD zombie community has changed compared to what it used to be? So, the zombie community is very... I think it's a very younger audience base, or it is somewhat of a young audience base. Obviously, there are exceptions, so that, there's some older people, but I think it is a younger viewer base in terms of the viewers. I think it could be pretty immature for the time span that I was in it. Or you notice how I use past tense. Don't really stream as much Call of Duty Zombies. Not really something I'm into as much nowadays. But we'll get into that later in the question. But I mean, I think the zombie community base is, or the streamer base at least. Now, I can't talk for the YouTube side. I'm friends with my buddy Raffle Waffles. Shout out to him, awesome YouTuber. His channel's really exploded over Black Ops 3, and he deserves it, man. If anyone deserves it, it's him. He's an incredibly cool guy, incredibly nice guy. If you want to go check out his channel, Mr. Raffle Waffles, really awesome YouTuber. But from a Twitch base, from a streamer base, I think it's somewhat. I don't know if this is the right term or the right analogy, more so, but it kind of reminds me of working at McDonald's. I think there's a lot of change that happens since I was in it. Like, I can remember from starting to, I guess, even today now we are, just so many things change, you know what I mean? In terms of, I think a lot of people kind of come and go, which is what I meant by that analogy. Like, if you go to McDonald's, I don't know, at least in the McDonald's that was local to my area growing up, upstate New York, people would just always, new people working, people change in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And I think it's very similar to that. I mean, I think if you look, you still got guys like Frenzy, but I mean, he streams very seldom. I don't know how often he's in the BO3. My buddy Dabrowski, like, he's non-existent. Of course, that has a lot to do with college and stuff as well. But like, when I started, it was like these guys, when I first got into streaming, Frenzy and Adopted, shout out to both those guys, awesome dudes. They both had 30,000 follows when I started. Obviously today, both, very well-established channels, also great streamers, but, I think a lot of things change. Those were like the big guys in the community when I started, and then you even saw, like, you see different people rise, like, I'll just shout out a bunch of names here, but I remember Twitch Mermsy, he had a big come up, and, things change. You know what I mean? I think what happens with such a game that's so niche like Call of Duty, and really more so particular in zombies, is I think you only see zombies so often, where Call of Duty you get an iteration every single year. So like, I think with the multi-streamers, there's a lot to be changed. You know what I mean? You can do multi, you do all these different things, where when you play zombies, you kind of have a selection of these maps, and it's really not a whole lot to work with, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I think what happens from a streamer base is viewers don't necessarily understand it, but they're like, if you start streaming something else, like, yo, play zombies, play zombies, play zombies, when in reality, like, you may only watch me stream 2 hours every single day, but I'm playing zombies for 6, 7, 8 hours every single day, and it gets wearing, because it's only like maybe like, a couple, like maybe 15 maps you can choose from. There's only so much you could do in that. So I think honestly the streamer base has changed quite a bit. Has the viewer base changed? I don't think so. I think the viewer base, like I said, for COD Zombies, I mean, first of all, there's way different streamers. There's high round players. There's people that play Easter eggs every single day, play with viewers every single day. There's people that just do like, well, not really. There's no one that really does challenges. That was kind of me. I always did challenges and kind of just played fun zombies, as I always quoted it, in terms of like I just start on a map and just do whatever. You know, there's no goal, there's no reason. I'm not trying to do an Easter egg. I'm not trying to high round. I'm just kind of messing around. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? That was something I did. I didn't really see much of that. But typically, you see like the high round guys and you see the Easter egg guys. And the funniest is the combination of the two. Nowadays, that's what BO3 has brought to us is high round attempt with Easter eggs. Come say ciao. So that's always nice. But so no, I just think there's a lot of turnout to the community. I think a lot of people rise, a lot of people go. I think the tough thing about BO3 is, and this is no shot to anyone, but there's been a big view botting problem with Black Ops 3. And I'm not saying anyone who's big now who used to view bot or anything like that, but what I'm saying is like if you see like there are people with hundreds of views or even like 1,000 and they're view botters, like they're view botting their channel. So you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the channel is better or worse. Like when I joined, you know, if you look at guys like Frenzy and Derb, like guys who were in there longer than me, they were like, yo, their time is the best. So, you know, I don't know if my time is the best. I mean, when I joined, Origins was the thing. You know what I mean? Everyone was just playing Origins nonstop, 24/7, which is why when I got into it, I wanted to be the pushback. I wanted to be like, nah, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna fucking roast Origins every chance I get, even though I don't even hate the map. But it used to be a little inside joke that people thought it was dead serious, but I never hated Origins. I actually hate Buried. I don't hate Origins, but I hate shooting the ground. That's it. So yeah, I think it changed from that perspective. This could be a long fan mail Friday because I just went in right there. But anyways, moving on to the second part. What ways do you miss the old zombie simplicity? Simplicity is king. I don't like this whole Easter egg driven building wonder weapons. It's too much. It's crazy. I miss the fun. I miss the simplicity. If you look at a game like Black Ops Uno, it was really one of its kind. I think a lot of people still look back and say that was by far the best zombie game, and I would definitely say that. There's not one weak map in that game, honestly. Kino 5, Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shang, Moon. There's not one weak map. Not one, man. Not one. All, you know, Knocked, Shino, Verrucked. They all run better. Doris, they all run better on BO1, man. BO1 is such a spectacular, immaculate video game. So I miss the simplicity. I miss just going into a zombie game, doing whatever. You know, I hate this whole Easter egg driven, gotta feed the dogs, to eat the souls, to get the sword, to upgrade the sword, to kill the eyes, to shoot the pods, to get the bucket, to fill the water, to do the temporary power, to get the permanent power, to build the power, to get the pack. You know what I mean? It's so much going on, man. It's like, granted, you don't have to do those things, but I don't know. It's just too much. It feels like you don't have to, but you kind of have to. You know what I mean? If you want to just experience a zombie map, you pretty much have to do those things. So I miss old zombies. Also, one thing that I do want to note right here is one thing I used to always say about BO2 was I enjoyed BO1 more than BO2, but BO2 map design I thought was awesome. I didn't think it always played well, but I did like the die rise verticality, very different. I thought that was awesome. There were problems with it, obviously, but I thought it was really awesome. Mob of the Dead, can't say enough about that map. That map was amazing. The map was amazing. Esports. Is it in you? It was amazing. It was amazing. It was unbelievable. Even Buried, man. Didn't like Buried at all. Underground Western theme. So awesome. So awesome. Had a saloon, had all these things. So awesome. Even the Wonder Weapon was awesome. Although, let me rephrase that. The idea for the Wonder Weapon was awesome. I don't know why I'm doing so much air quotes right now. But, yeah, the idea for the Wonder Weapon was awesome. The way it was used, not a big fan, but I liked how you could basically, like, shoot up and, like, almost, like, fly. I thought that was really cool. Or more so float, I guess, levitate, I don't know, whatever you want to say. So, yeah, anyways, getting to what I was trying to say is I thought BO2 map design was awesome, where I don't think BO3 map design's even that good, to be honest. I think Shadows is okay. I think Horizon Drock, I don't think it's that good of a map in terms of not necessarily play, but I don't think the design is really that nice. And really, Zetsbu. Zetsbu is not, I don't think, a nice map. You know, I think Buried, like I said, the theme, the way it was, thought it was awesome. You know, now granted, were there things wrong with it? Yeah, but I don't really see too many redeeming qualities out of Horizon Drock or Zetsbu, the first two DLCs we got. So we'll see. There's still DLC 3 and 4, so we'll see what happens there. And then for the last question, also want to ask if change in a game like Zombies is good or bad, and if you want to share your opinion on the pros and cons of Black Ops 3 Zombies. So yes, change is always good. There's always going to be a pushback for people that started earlier. Change is good. There needs to be change, but you need to, especially in Call of Duty, it's a game that's annualized. If it wasn't annualized, maybe you didn't need that much change, but since it is annualized, you do need change, and you do need players to feel like they're playing an upgraded version. You know what I mean? It's like sports, you know what I mean? Sport games, And does it need to be annualized? I don't know. I mean, people buy them, so yeah, I guess, they make the money from it. But yeah, I think change is good in zombies. I think, I think I think change keeps everything flowing. It just, I think when you make change that people aren't necessarily ready for or want, or I think you gotta like, you gotta feed people there. You know what I mean? You don't just go bam. All right, here we go. This is it. You know what I mean? So I don't think zombies. I don't know if zombie change. I don't think zombie change is bad. I just don't know if the direction they went in is good. I'm sure people like it, and if you do, that's awesome. Good for you. But from my perspective, it definitely went in a direction that I didn't necessarily want to see it go in. But it is what it is. They don't care, in my opinion, and they shouldn't. They don't have to. You know what I mean? But they're gonna do what they want to do, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that enjoy BO3 zombies. And that's awesome. It's just not my kind of game, which is why you haven't really streamed it, or you haven't really seen it too much on my channels in terms of Twitch or YouTube. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then for the last question, I guess pros and cons. Like I said, I think we already touched upon that. If you're a kind of guy that is into Easter eggs, then it's going to be your kind of map. The thing with me is I love single player games. I love narrative driven experiences. My favorite game of all time is The Last of Us. I want to be told a great story, but the thing is I don't want to be told that in Call of Duty Zombies. In Call of Duty Zombies, you spawn in and it's a co-op game mode. That's what it is. It's a co-op game mode, and you survive rounds by killing the undead. That's all you need to do, in my opinion. That's amazing. That's a lot of fun. It's mindless entertainment. They're trying to cross the line into something that I don't think we need. I don't think we need a story. I don't think we need a background story. And to truth be told, I don't think the story's even that good for Call of Duty Zombies. I don't want to go around the map holding X or square, trying to pick up parts to do stuff. You know what I mean? That's really not what I want to do in my game. But like I said, there are people out there that enjoy this, and that's good for them. I'm glad. I hope all you guys enjoy, whatever it is you're playing or whatever. So that's one thing that you've definitely seen scaled back. So yeah, much different question today, AJ. I really enjoyed the question. You know what we'll do? We'll answer one more question because it is somewhat similar. So let's just go right here. Where is it? My buddy Hesh asked, imagine yourself in a zombie apocalypse. What do you do? Where do you go? How do you prepare yourself for this type of situation? Sincerely, Big Poppy Hesh. Well, hey Poppy. But I don't know. So imagine yourself in a zombie apocalypse. What do you do? So the apartment that I used to live at was perfect. So I lived in a 2-family home, but we lived on the top stairs. So what was perfect about it was there was only one entrance, and it was upstairs. So what I would do is I would kick the family out of the house that lives there. I'd be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. I would go up there, and I'd be like, yo. Y'all, I'd feed them. I'd feed them the zombie. Like, yo, feed them. Bam, done. And then you just board up the one door. They can't. Have you ever seen a zombie climb? I've never seen a zombie climb in my life. Never once. Pin down that door. Just throw chairs, sofas, TVs, freaking blocks of wood. Freaking throw cocaine at it. I don't know where we're getting cocaine. I think it comes from a plant. But do all these things, man. Pin the door. You'll be good. I know a lot of people go to Walmart. Don't go there. Everyone's going to go there. It's going to be mayhem. And some people might want to take a boat. But I think, spoilers, Fear of the Walking Dead. Haven't watched it, but I think there was a zombie that was swimming. So you don't want to do that, man. They swim now. No bueno, my man. No bueno. But, yeah, that's how you do it, man. So, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the first ever Fan Mail Friday number 4. The first ever number 4. Thank you all for watching. If you guys want to leave a comment and a like, be sure to do so. If you guys want your questions to be read, ask something awesome. vsat@mail.com. We'll see you guys later. Peace.